We are no different than a dog when you think about it, right? See, you think and I think that we're so evolved and we're humans and therefore we should have different standards. We really don't. The reality is that we're just like a dog. We need to serve, we need purpose, we need routine. And in the absence of service, purpose, and routine, guess what? We begin to dig holes in our life, don't we? You begin to dig holes in your life through overeating, over drinking, over vaping, smoking weed, through pornography, through escaping through television and social media. Those are all holes that you're digging in your life. It's the absence of routine, service, and purpose. And ironically, the human condition is that in the absence of routine, service, and purpose, we must figure out how to find those things. Like when I think about how I was able to build my empire, how I was able to build my companies, build an international fitness franchise, supplement company, coaching business, the project, experiential events, take equity in different companies and be an investor in half a dozen other companies. It all came down to purpose, service, routine. And I want to break this down for you guys because, again, if you don't have it, you will find yourself digging holes in your life, right? It's so easy to go out and smoke weed and numb yourself and to escape with alcohol and television and food and infidelity and pornography. But at the end, you wake up the next day feeling like a piece of shit, like you've done nothing worthwhile to move the needle of life forward, that you are not an example to anybody. You are at most, you are a cautionary tale to humanity of how not to be. And then you wonder why you're depressed and anxious and you're stressed and you're overwhelmed and you're on the verge of a panic attack. Well, it's because you don't have what millionaires have, the millionaire success mindset. And that's what I want to teach you today. And so understand that purpose is a fundamental core component of successful people. All successful people, people that have fulfillment, that have meaning, that have significance, have purpose. What about you? What about the fact that you are still where you were last year and the year before and the year before that? And I want to talk to you about developing your purpose because so many people out there think that they need to go out and find their purpose. Your purpose is not lost. It's not like a thing that's lost under a rock or behind a tree that you're going to go find. You've got to develop your purpose. And I can tell you that for me, my purpose is to coach humanity to their highest level. I figured that out about myself. But that journey started some 23 years ago when I was a personal trainer. See, even as a personal trainer, I was still a coach, except I was helping people with their fitness goals because fitness changed and transformed my life. Working out helped me lose the weight, gave me confidence and self-esteem and self-worth, made me feel like I was worthy of love and acceptance by humanity. And what I realized as a personal trainer, though, and this is how you develop your purpose, I realized, you know what? As much as I love personally training people in the gym, what I loved even more was the conversations I would have with my clients between sets, giving them those aha moments, giving them those mental breakthroughs, helping them to break belief systems that they had that were limiting them, right? And so I was like, man, I wonder if there's like such thing as, coaching people in their mindset. As it turns out, there was, right? And so today I'm a business coach, I'm a mindset coach, I guess you can say I'm a life coach, I'm a high performance coach, whatever you want to say. I've really whittled down what my core purpose is in life. And over those 20 years, I figured out that as I go through different phases of life, my purpose changes, but it still stays in that same category of serving others, right? But what is your purpose? And so you might wonder then, hey man, how do I find my purpose? Like, where do I start, right? How do I develop it? Challenge yourself. Like, this is what I do with my coaching clients. When they're with me and they're like, all right, man, look, I'm making good money, but I feel like I'm called to do something different, but I don't know what I'm called to do. I feel like I have different purpose. And here's how I help them develop and figure out what that is. If all of your life expenses were taken care of and you still have the same awesome lifestyle, you don't have to worry about running your business, what would you go out there and do for free? Boom, I would do this. I'm like, great. Then be so good at it that people pay you. I would have done personal training for free, but I got so good at it that people paid me for it. And over time, though, as you get older, you mature, you get married, I had kids, I realized, all right, maybe I don't want to be in the gym all the time working with clients. Maybe I can create a franchise where people can open up gyms that I've created and they could start helping people lose weight, get fit, build a positive mental attitude, realize that they're meant for more, break through limiting beliefs. And that's what Fit Body Bootcamp does, one of my companies. You might know what your purpose is today, but 5 or 10 years from now, when you're in a different phase of life, you may be out of alignment and incongruent with what you're doing. You have to once again ask yourself, I'm in a new phase of life. What's going on? What am I feeling? I'm making all this money, yet I'm not happy. Because don't forget, man, you change, you evolve, you grow. It's the human condition, you know. It is okay to have new phases of life. That is the human condition. In fact, I would be worried if you're stuck at the same place the rest of your life, because all of life is growth. If you could figure out what you would do for free because you love it so much, I would challenge you to get so good at it that people pay you. And that is how you develop your purpose. And so once you do that, that's one part of the millionaire mindset. The other part of the millionaire mindset are the 3 R's. And the 3 R's are this. Thing number 1, every millionaire that I know who's successful and who is thriving and who's able to persevere through hard times, every single one of them follow these 3 R's. The first R is resourcefulness. See, oftentimes you're not going to have the resources you need to get where you want, because once you develop your purpose, like, man, this is what I want to do in life. This is who I want to serve. Like, I know that I'm supposed to be a coach, a mentor, but if I don't have the money, which is a resource, then I have to get resourceful, don't I? And oftentimes in life, like, millionaires who have this success mindset realize that they have to be resourceful when they don't have the resources. You can't just stop simply because you don't have the resources. You got to get scrappy and get resourceful. That's R number 1. R number 2 is to be relentless. It is to constantly go to war with everything that you're doing. When I go into the gym every morning, I am battling that inner bitch. I am battling the heavy weights. When I come to work, I imagine in my head this relentless mindset that I have, that there's someone out there and their only life's mission is to put me out of business. And I know you're like, damn, bro, that sounds intense. Yes, be intense. The millionaire success mindset requires you to be intense, to be unreasonable with your goals, to be relentless. I go to war with everything I do. If I'm sitting in a L10 meeting, a level 10 meeting with any of my leadership teams, like, to me, that's the war room. We are at war and how we're going to figure out how to get leads and market and create funnels and make offers and run ads and get the lowest cost per click, because I'm at war with the competition at that point. You got to go into everything with the relentless mindset. On date night with the wife, I'm at war with all the other men out there who are taking their wives out on dates, that I'm gonna have the best date night out there with my wife. We're gonna go to the best place. We're gonna have the most fun. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna have a great time. Like, be willing to go to war with everything. Be relentless, right? It's a game. It's a psychological game you play. Because if you're just like ho-hum about everything, then how boring does life get? And the third R is resilience. You've got to be resilient. You're gonna be knocked down on your ass 100 times. In business, in life, you're gonna be knocked down on your ass 100 times. Things are not gonna go your way. You're gonna have a plan, and your plan only looks perfect on paper. But I can tell you this. The moment you go to execute your plan, many things will go wrong. And when they do, are you going to be resilient, get knocked down and get back up? Or are you just going to play the victim, play dead, say, well, this wasn't meant to be, and fail? To me, there's no such thing as failure. There are temporary defeats, but there's no such thing as failure. And I share that with you because if you can be resourceful, if you can be relentless, and if you could be resilient, then you will make it in life. Understand that problems are a part of life. Understand that problems are good. They are there to help you build your problem-solving muscles. See, most people think that the only muscles they have are the muscles on their body. But you've got mental muscles, you've got emotional muscles, you've got problem-solving muscles, you've got money-making muscles. And you need things to go wrong so that you can exercise those muscles. And resiliency, the best example of resiliency that I can give you is the difference between the garden weed and an orchid. And true, the orchid is pretty, but the orchid is goddamn fragile. What I mean by this is the orchid, if it gets too much sun, it dies. Too much water, it dies. Not enough water, it dies. If you plant the orchid next to another plant, it dies. That's why orchids are just like in their own little solo container. And if you ever look at an orchid, it's got a little stick. They put a little stick next to it, and they use little hair clips to hold the little motherfucker up. It can't even hold up its own neck. That's how fucking weak the orchid is. Yes, it's pretty, but it's weak. Now, do you want to be an orchid, or do you want to be a garden weed? A garden weed, on the other hand, a garden weed is resilient, isn't it? Because a garden weed has such resiliency. I've seen garden weeds grow out of cement, out of the side of a telephone pole. I've seen it grow out of concrete. I've seen it grow in my backyard. I've gone to Home Depot and Lowe's back in the day and looking for some kind of garden weed spray to kill the weeds. And no matter what I use, fucking weeds keep coming back. Like, I want to be a garden weed not an orchid. A garden weed is resilient. It doesn't need water. It doesn't need fucking sunshine. It doesn't need hot or garden weed will grow anywhere. That is the resilient mindset that you need. Guys, and I share this with you because if you were not developing a purpose and if you were not resourceful, relentless, and resilient in your pursuit of your purpose, you will never achieve it. And like a dog who lacks purpose, service, and routine, you will fall into a place of depression and anxiety. Remember, I told you that woman who trained my dog said this beautiful dog of yours, Cookie, will fall into a state of depression and anxiety in the absence of purpose, routine, and service. You are no different. You will fall into a state of depression and anxiety and start digging holes in your life, just like Cookie digs holes in the backyard if she ever gets depressed and anxious, and she doesn't, because we take great care of her. We give her a sense of purpose. We give her a sense of meaning. She shepherds my kids around. She looks after the security of the house. She plays ball with me every morning. So when you develop your purpose and when you begin to build your resourcefulness, your relentlessness, and your resiliency, you will develop the mindset required to build a multi-million-dollar empire, a multi-million-dollar relationship, a multi-million-dollar physique, a multi-million-dollar mindset, multi-million-dollar legacy.